Hello and welcome to Sports Tips UK. I'm Marcus J. Richardson.
And I'm Adam Thorn.
This is a video about a football club called Dulwich Hamlet. Now, many of you may not have heard of them. They are in the second tier of non-league football. But Adam, quickly, tell us what's happening with Dulwich Hamlet.
Well, look, as you can see from my scarf, Dulwich Hamlet are a club that is very close to my heart. Now, I am not, as you know, big on my football.
No, you're not big on football, but you are big on Dulwich Hamlet. Tell us why.
I love going because game day there is just so exciting. It's so much fun. They get a big crowd. They've got craft beers. You can drink in the stand. You're right next to the action.
You can drink in the stand?
Yeah. The fans are split 50-50 on wanting to be promoted because I think if we go up one more division, this is when we won't be able to drink in the stands. Now, that's part of the reason I like going.
But why did you pick Dulwich Hamlet, though?
Well, it's because, well, A, they're local. I grew up in the area. And B, my great-uncle, won league titles with them back when it was in the amateurs. And he had a break in between to go and fight in the First World War.
Of course he did.
As you do. So I've got a couple of the league medals at home. And when I was a kid, big football fan, my mum would show me these medals. And I'd go, oh my God, this is great. And I knew nothing about Dulwich Hamlet back then.
So they family heirloom kind of thing?
Family heirloom.
Hoping to get those?
Please put those in the... I'm not actually... No, that's like encouraging my mum to die.
No, it isn't.
Eventually, I'm sure they'll end up with me.
Happy Mother's Day.
I'm sorry, Mum.
They're
So anyway, I just love them, and they're such a friendly...
What's going on, Adam?
Well, so basically, in 2014, we nearly went bust. Last minute rescue was 5.7 million by this company, Hadley Property. Right now, basically, they bought it out and they helped with the running of the club. They say to a cost of 170 grand a year. 4 years, they've spent
600 grand.
600 grand. Obviously, they didn't invest 5.7 million out of the goodness of their hearts. They want something back from it, which is everybody understood that at the time. That's fine. They then owned the stadium
and the land that it's on.
And Champions Hill. They own that ground, that area. Obviously, with Dulwich Hamlet, one of the oldest clubs in the country, that's where they've been for donkey's years. So they own the ground, and now they proposed in 2016. It was like an £80 million development project where basically they would build houses over the stadium, but at the same time build the club a new stadium right next door, and then, and this is crucial, hand the club back to the supporters trust, so that the club would be owned by the fans, which would be brilliant. Herein lies the problem. They proposed that, the fans voted it in.
So the fans voted for it?
The fans voted for it, 94% in favour of. And then a couple of years passed, Southwark Council said there's not enough affordable housing in what they plan to build on Champions Hill. The company are now called Meadow, which sounds like an old people's home, Meadow Residences.
Nice.
Yeah, like where you put your nan to pasture.
The proposal isn't happening. What's happening with that?
Well, basically, it sounds to me like they've thrown it, and bearing in mind I'm not a lawyer, I don't have any massive insight into this, I'm not a property developer. Basically, they've thrown their toys out of their pram. They're unhappy about it.
They're unhappy about it not being able to go through then, yeah?
Yeah, for some reason they've taken this out on the club. So instead of the plan to then rehouse the club, they've said, we'll get out of the stadium. You owe us back rent of 121,000. They kicked us, Dulwich Hamlet, out of the stadium. They've trademarked Dulwich Hamlet Football Club and DHFC, although I have to say I don't know why that wasn't already trademarked. That seems like an oversight, but whatever, moving quickly on.
And are they allowed to do that?
I was speaking to a lawyer friend of mine about this yesterday, and he thinks it might be a bit of a shady area. As he used the analogy, a big company, pick any big company you want, pretend they didn't have their name.
Google.
Trademarked. Google. Google's landlords turn around, and Google haven't trademarked Google. Google's landlords turn around and say, we've trademarked your name now, fuck off. You can't do that just because you're their landlord. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So there'll be
Why can't you though?
I'm not a lawyer, but there'll be some sort of precedent, a little bit like with Wimbledon, how they claimed it back. This should go without saying, but all fans at every level should be aware that your football club can disappear.
Of course. Well, look at AFC Wimbledon. I've got a friend who's got a stand there, the Raga stand.
That's a wicked name.
He sponsors a stand there. He's got a big involvement with AFC Wimbledon, so therefore I've spoken to him a lot about the club. I don't know if everyone's aware about what happened. MK Dons, basically, the only time this has happened, it's now been made illegal, where a football club has been bought and it was turned into a franchise and moved from Wimbledon to Milton Keynes.
Dan Kroenke did that with one of his American football teams.
Did he?
America, yeah, just relocated them.
Madness. So therefore there was all sorts of trouble caused with that, and fans went mad, and the FA then banned that.
So as a practice, yeah.
As a practice. Again, they lost the name Wimbledon FC because it's owned by the guy who owns MK Dons.
Right.
So similar to Dulwich Hamlets, the name was owned by somebody else. So they came up with AFC Wimbledon, and they're now a very successful club. They're moving their way up through the leagues, got themselves back into being a professional club. They've played MK Dons in the league, which is a fantastic achievement to get to the same level that MK Dons were at. But they're actually about to move back to their old home at Plough Lane. They're basically redeveloping the old dog track. So it's not going to be the same ground, but it's going to be very close to their old home. Right. And AFC Wimbledon, I think, are a prime example of how Dulwich Hamlet should be trying to follow that mould. It is possible for the fans to take a club and turn it into something special. AFC Wimbledon is a great example of that.
Let's hope that's where this ends up with Dulwich Hamlet.
Is that what's happening?
Rio Ferdinand, who is a local lad, big friend of Gavin Rose, the manager. He's bid £10 million for the club through his legacy housing thing, presumably with roughly the same plan, to be honest. Okay. They've said no, we want minimum of 13, which over, you think about it, that's an increase of how many million? Nearly 10 million on what they invested a few years ago. I'm assuming they've obviously spent some money on the club then. Anyway, they're saying Dulwich Hamlet owe 121,000 in back rent. They've kicked the team out of the stadium. No stadium anymore.
So the ground sharing now, are they?
Actually, weirdly, biggest rivals Tooting have offered the ground share.
But you find in football, though, that actually when a corporation or an organisation comes against a football clubs club together.
Yeah, and the fans see past. And especially
so is that Tooting and Mitcham?
Any club, Tooting and Mitcham.
Credit to Tooting and Mitcham for doing that.
That is really big of them and nice of them. People forget, outside the top tier, a lot of clubs have come very close to going bust. And it can literally happen to any club.
So this bid's come in from Rio Ferdinand's legacy company, which has been outright rejected by Hadley.
Meadow, where they've changed the name to Meadow.
Meadow. What's the next stage then?
Well, the next stage is basically Dulwich are trying to rally support. If you do want to support the cause, and you should, write to your local MP, banners at your stadium. Maybe don't riot like West Ham fans, because that's a bit unseemly. Sorry, West Ham. I love West Ham.
No, but to be fair, I saw a video of it said Jesus gets beaten up, which was obviously that's bad. Don't beat up Jesus.
He's been through enough.
There's a
that might be the most I've ever made you laugh.
Yeah, it probably is the funniest you've ever been, Adam. There was a bearded guy with long hair and he was running off the pitch, and as he got back into the stand, stewards didn't arrest him or anything, which, to be honest, he probably wishes they did, because as he was going back up the stairs, everyone's kicking at him, throwing punches at him, and as he got to the midway point where you turn, he just got filled in. Absolutely filled in. But that's the thing, is anyway, actually football fans, again, West Ham fans have been getting a lot of stick for what happened there, but you know what? I'm going to defend West Ham fans here. That was a very small minority. They were embarrassed, and you're embarrassed of your club, and you look at Dulwich Hamlet at the moment, and actually they're embarrassed of their owners. It's embarrassing. With the unity of football, people are going to club together, which is why we're doing this video.
Sadiq Khan has been very vocal about it, so good on you, Sadiq Khan.
But I think it's important, we're doing this video now so that there is awareness spread and that people are fully aware of Dulwich Hamlet's plight, and whenever anything happens, we'll add some links in the video below, any petitions or anything. What is going to happen then?
It's going to end up in court, I imagine.
How can people help?
Well, because the fans of Dulwich have got such a great fan base and a big fan base for such a small club, Dulwich Supporters Trust are doing everything they can. There's the 12th Man programme, the Dulwich 12th Man programme, which is the DHFC 12 at DHFC 12.
We'll put the Twitter handle.
Facebooks, Twitters, there's all kinds of things. But if it's something that's bothering you, write to your local MP, even if you're up in Blackpool.
I don't know why you had such disdain on your face when you said Blackpool.
No. But it's just because it's far away. And
I'm from Blackpool.
I'm from Blackpool.
I'm sure the people can work it out.
Yeah. The 12th Man are raising money for the club, because the players, they need to get paid.
Well, technically, the players will be almost professional at that level, not quite, but they will be very reliant on that income. Non-league football is so integral to being the feeder for the top divisions, which you will go and watch.
Much like small hall boxing.
Exactly like small hall boxing. Like Deontay Wilder fought 20 small hall fights before he actually became Deontay Wilder that we all know now. And in football terms, there's so many big footballers, Jamie Vardy, Dwight Gale.
Ian Wright and Peter Crouch both play for Dulwich Hamlet.
Well, there you go, you see. So there's lots of big players who've come through there. And we talk about how we have all of these foreign players here and we struggle to have English players breaking through. Well, actually, English players tend to now break through non-league, because even if they don't necessarily go through the non-league system, some of them come up with clubs and stay at clubs. AFC Wimbledon, as we mentioned before, a lot of their squad have come up with them. If you do get the opportunity, go and watch a non-league game. You're so close to the action.
Hamlet.
Yeah, go and watch Dulwich Hamlet if you're in London, but every single local area has a local non-league club. I play for a team called Tring Athletic. I mean, there's not many people live in Tring, but we get a good turnout. Everywhere you look, I guarantee you there'll be a non-league club within 10, 15 miles.
And it's exciting football. It really is exciting football. You're not going and watching a bunch of fat blokes and old men play.
No, they are good.
Really, these are guys, athletes, proper athletes.
Of course. And a lot of the pitches, especially at Dulwich Hamlet have got a lovely pitch. The grounds are kept in great condition. It isn't what it was, say, 20, 30 years ago. These clubs are really well organised. Even in the Bostik leagues and in the local county leagues, these are really, really important clubs that all need your support. Go and support your local club. But first of all, go and follow Dulwich Hamlets and their supporters trust and try and give them a helping hand. Stop people like Meadow, whatever they're called, ruining football clubs up and down the country because it's bollocks.
It is bollocks. 100% bollocks. And here's a message for Meadow.
Yeah, you wankers. All joking aside, we do wish Dulwich Hamlet all the best. Try and watch them. Try and buy a scarf from the Mega Shed and get involved.
Can't get in the Mega Shed because we're not allowed in the stadium.
Good point. bad point.
Online.
Go get your scarves online.
Dulwich Hamlet website.
I've been Marcus J. Richardson.
And I've been Adam Thorn.
Until next time, peace out.
You thought I fell off? You're smoking something.